Imagine a truck stuck in mud up to its axles. Now imagine it rolling out like a tank minutes later. This isn't science fiction. Today, you're going to discover incredible revolutionary inventions for trucks that seem impossible. From instant tracks in Canada to express rescue systems in the Netherlands and Swedish robotics, we'll show you the technology that's breaking all the boundaries. Innovative companies are changing the rules of the game with unique solutions that you have to see to believe. Let's get started. Instant rubber tracks, when a truck needs to become a tank. Think of the closest thing to a tank you can imagine, but without the cost, complexity, and restrictions of driving on the road. Now take that image and adapt it to any 6x4, 6x8 truck, or even a trailer. This is not an exercise in imagination. It is the daily product of Right Track Systems, a Canadian company that has redefined the concept of extreme traction. Their invention is rubber tracks, yes, but with a revolutionary twist. They are completely rebuildable and can be installed in about an hour. The process is as elegant as it is effective. These are not metal tracks that damage the asphalt. They are reinforced rubber bands with steel guides that fit over existing tires. You don't need to modify your truck. You don't need a specialized workshop. With a team of 2 or 3 people and the right tools, your truck is transformed from a road vehicle into a colossus with 30-inch wide tracks. The transformation is physical and dramatic. Where you once had a contact point the size of your palm, you now have an elongated, wide footprint that distributes the vehicle's weight over an area up to 7 times larger. The technical data is overwhelming. They provide between 500 and 700% more flotation. This means that the pressure on the ground, the force that sinks wheels into mud, deep snow, or sand, is reduced to a fraction. The truck literally floats over terrain that would have previously swallowed it up, but the genius doesn't end there. These tracks not only get you out of trouble, they protect your most valuable investment, your tires. By completely covering the tread and much of the sides, they shield them from cuts, rock impacts, and the abrasive wear of gravel. It's a mobile shield, and when the terrain improves and you need to get back on the road, the tracks can be removed in a matter of minutes. Your truck is back on the road, no compromises. Now ask yourself the same question the first miner who used this system asked: how much is it worth to be able to get $1 million load out of a mud pit on time and with tea damaging the truck or the cargo? The answer takes this invention from being an interesting accessory to an essential operational insurance policy. The multiplying axle, the secret trick to gaining traction. Let's stay in the cold, but change the setting. Now you're at a Scandinavian transport company. You've opted for a fleet of 6x2 trucks, a single rear drive axle, because they're cheaper to buy, lighter, so you can carry more, and more fuel efficient. The decision is financially sound until winter arrives. A slope covered with ice and compacted snow becomes an insurmountable wall. The drive wheels spin, the truck stalls, and traffic backs up behind you. The economical option becomes in that instant the most expensive one. You need extra traction, but you can't conjure up a drive axle out of thin air. Or maybe you can. From Sweden, a country that knows a thing or two about harsh winters, comes the solution. The Robson drive, from the Zetterbergs company. This invention is so simple that it's painful not to have thought of it before. It is essentially a virtual third drive axle that deploys on demand. The system consists of a steel roller between 33 and 43 centimeters in diameter, mounted on a hydraulic arm. When the driver activates the system from the cab, this arm lowers and places the roller right between the rear drive axle tires and the nearest front axle tires, or between the axles of a trailer. What happens then? The drive wheel, as it turns, makes contact with the roller. The roller, in turn, rotates and transfers that rotation by friction to the other wheel, which is normally passive. Suddenly, you have synchronized the traction of 2 wheels with the power of a single engine. The 6x2 truck gains, in a matter of seconds, the traction properties of a 6x4. It's a perfect mechanical trick to cheat the physics of slippage. It's not a permanent system that adds weight and complexity. It's a tactical resource. Once the difficult stretch is over, it retracts and the truck returns to its efficient configuration. The claim is provocative, but true. This makes a 2-axle truck perform like a 3-axle truck without the permanent extra cost, added dead weight, or increased fuel consumption. It's a fleet manager's dream. Efficiency when conditions are good, full power when the going gets tough. Airless wheels, the end of catastrophic punctures. Now let's take our imagination to the most hostile environment of all, an open pit mine. Double-decker trucks with wheels over 4 meters in diameter carrying 200 tons of rock. Here, a flat tire is not a nuisance, it is a catastrophic event. A giant OTR, off-the-road tire, when it fails, can release explosive energy equivalent to several pounds of dynamite, shattering everything around it. The cost of just one of these tires is astronomical, and their useful life under such stress is limited. It is the biggest, most expensive, and most dangerous bottleneck in the entire mining operation, until now. Enter total disruption. Air suspension wheels, ASW, from Global Air Cylinder Wheels. Forget the concept of a tire altogether. What they propose is an all-metal wheel, a radical architecture. The wheel has an inner steel core, which attaches to the axle, and an outer steel drum, where the tread goes. What's in between? No air. Instead, 12 nitrogen-filled cylinders and 6 oil-filled shock absorbers connect the two parts. These cylinders act as an ultra-robust suspension system, absorbing shocks and providing flexibility, while the outer tread is made of polyurethane or steel, designed to last 3 to 5 times longer than a conventional tire. The advantages are a mining engineer's wish list. Zero risk of explosion due to puncture or overheating. Nitrogen is stable. 25% more payload because the steel structure is more rigid and allows for greater capacity, greater resistance to heat and cuts, and the economic data that makes any manager sit up and take notice. Over its lifetime, it saves up to 70% in costs compared to traditional OTR tires, and they are 100% recyclable at the end of their cycle. The argument is compelling. Any mining company that is not looking at this technology is literally throwing money away and taking unnecessary risks every day. It is the end of one era and the beginning of another, where the wheel is no longer the weak link, but becomes the most reliable component of the entire vehicle. But cutting-edge technology isn't just for advancing and conquering the most brutal terrain on the planet. It also has a perhaps more critical mission, to get you out of the hole, literally and figuratively, when everything goes wrong. Because what good is the most capable truck in the world if, after a mechanical failure or accident, it is immobilized on a remote road for days? The true test of modern engineering is not only to prevent disaster, but to resolve it with an elegance and speed that seem like magic. What if I told you that the next invention we're going to talk about can rescue a 40-ton overturned truck in just 15 minutes without the need for giant cranes, and that it can be done by a single person? Get ready, because what's coming completely redefines the concept of roadside assistance. Think of the most expensive sound a trucker can hear, the sudden silence of a diesel engine, followed by the futile click of the ignition. You're on a national highway, 100 kilometers from the nearest repair shop, with a perishable load that's spoiling by the minute. Your 40-ton truck has become an immovable rock on the shoulder of the road. Calling a specialized tow truck sets off an hourglass whose bottom is your bank account. Hours of waiting, thousands of dollars in service costs, plus the total loss of the trip. This is the logistical nightmare that haunts every driver, every fleet, every company. But what if that nightmare could be reduced from hours to minutes? What if the rescue didn't require colossal equipment, but a simple accessory that any truck could carry? Innovation in heavy transport isn't just about going faster or carrying more, it's about resilience. It's about turning a catastrophic failure into a simple operational inconvenience. In this chapter, we delve into the world of mechanical lifesavers, where human ingenuity has created tools that not only repair, but redefine what it means to be stranded on the road. Here, disaster finds its antidote. The universal tow truck. Hook up any truck in 15 minutes all by yourself. The scene is daunting. Your truck, a heavy trailer, has a rear axle failure. It won't move under its own power. The traditional protocol is an ordeal. Call a dispatch center, wait for an available lowboy tow truck, a low-platform trailer, to detour to your location, a trip that can take hours. Then, the complex process of loading a vehicle of such size and weight with ramps, cables, and a lot of expertise. Finally, transport to a repair shop, where your cargo will have to be transferred to another truck if you want to save it. The total cost can easily exceed $5,000, not counting late delivery fines and loss of customer confidence. It's a financial blow that many small operations don't recover from. Faced with this age-old problem, a Dutch company specializing in handling equipment decided to apply a brutally simple logic. Why not use another truck to rescue the broken-down truck? Their invention, the T-Go system, is the embodiment of that idea, and its elegance lies in its simplicity. Forget about cranes, complex hydraulic ramps, and specialized equipment that only serves one purpose. The T-Go is essentially a mechanical coupling system that attaches to the fifth wheel of any rescue tractor truck. Here's how the magic works. The rescue truck, equipped with the T-Go, arrives at the broken-down vehicle. The operator, just one person, I insist, just one person, deploys the system. The T-Go has arms with wheels that slide under the semi-trailer of the broken-down truck. Using a purely mechanical mechanism, no external hydraulic lines or complex connections, it lifts the front end of the semi to the exact height of the fifth wheel of the rescue truck. Then the rescue truck backs up, couples up, and click. At that moment, the broken-down semi-trailer, with its cargo intact inside, has become a simple trailer that the rescue truck can take to its destination. The numbers speak for themselves. 15 minutes. That's the average total time from arrival to having the broken-down truck coupled up and ready to be towed. Not hours, 15 minutes. And the rescue truck, once the T-Go is uncoupled, remains a fully functional tractor truck. It is not a dedicated vehicle, it is an asset in your fleet that, equipped with this accessory, becomes your mobile insurance policy. The savings are stratospheric. You avoid the cost of a specialized tow truck, minimize downtime, and most importantly, save the cargo. The cargo continues its journey to the customer, only now it is pulled by another horse. This is not an incremental improvement, it is a paradigm shift in breakdown management. It is the difference between an operational disaster and a simple service interruption. It is, in 2 words, pure efficiency. The explosion-proof cage, changing a giant tire without removing it. Now let's change the scenario. It's not a mechanical breakdown, but one of the most common and dangerous emergencies on the road, a blowout. A truck tire, inflated to pressures that can exceed 100 psi, stores tremendous energy. When it fails, especially during removal or inflation after a repair, it can explode with lethal violence. Fragments of rubber and metal become shrapnel. Every year, mechanics and drivers are seriously injured or killed in these accidents. The fear is justified. Changing a truck tire on the road is perhaps the most dangerous task a driver can face outside the cab. The traditional solution? Bulky safety barriers, slow processes that require removing the wheel from the axle, and a latent risk that no one wants to take. But what if you could repair the tire without even removing it from the truck? What if you could do it inside an explosion-proof steel cage? This is the radical proposal of the Tire Spider, a system developed between Poland and the United States that looks like something out of an action movie. The Tire Spider is not a tool. It is a mobile tire repair shop encapsulated in a safety cage. The unit approaches the truck with the damaged wheel. The operator places the steel cage, which looks like a huge cradle, around the tire, which remains mounted on the axle. Once secured, it is inside that cage where the magic happens, or rather, precision engineering. The system incorporates a 2-armed hydraulic impact hammer that, controlled from the outside, can break the tire's rim seal. It also has a portable, compressed air-powered tire changer that handles the old tire and mounts the new one, all inside the cage. The cage is designed to contain the force of an explosion. If, during the removal or inflation of the new tire, which is also done inside the cage with a safe inflator, the worst happens. The explosion is confined. The shrapnel does not reach the operator. The phrase could not be clearer. This is not a luxury nor a convenience. It is vital safety equipment. It allows a damaged tire to be replaced in a matter of minutes, on the road, in the rain, or at night, without risking the operator's life. For any fleet that values its personnel, the Tire Spider is no longer an expense, but an indispensable moral and practical investment. It transforms a high-risk procedure into a routine and safe operation. The portable fire truck, a fire station in a dump truck bed. Finally, let's take the crisis to a larger scale, one that threatens not just a truck, but entire forests, industrial plants, or communities. Massive fires, especially in rural or hard-to-reach areas, have a common enemy: lack of water. Traditional fire trucks rely on their limited tanks and the hydrant network, which simply does not exist in the countryside. Getting to a nearby lake or river can be impossible for an urban vehicle. Time is running out, the fire is spreading, and desperation is growing. The answer? Don't make a bigger fire truck, make the water body mobile. The company US Fire Pump created the ERATS, Emergency Response Aqueous Transport System, and it is exactly what its name suggests. An emergency water transport system, but with a capacity that seems like science fiction. The most incredible thing is its platform. It is not an extremely expensive specialized chassis. It is a system designed to be transported in the bed of a standard dump truck. Any sturdy dump truck can be converted in a matter of hours into the most powerful firefighting unit within a radius of hundreds of kilometers. Once at the disaster site, the system is deployed. Its most powerful model deploys 4 high-capacity submersible pumps that are launched into the nearest body of water: a lake, a river, a pond. These pumps don't suck, they devour water. Now get ready for the number: 37,850 liters of water per minute. To put that in perspective, an elite urban fire truck can pump around 5,000 liters per minute. That's 7 times more pumping power. The water is propelled through hoses up to 12 inches in diameter, like a sewer pipe, to the fire site. The operational significance is enormous. Where 10 fire trucks used to be needed to make constant trips to refill, now a single ERATS can establish a constant artificial river from the water source to the flames. It's the difference between containing a fire and drowning it by sheer volume. It is useful for forest fires, for protecting industrial facilities, such as refineries or chemical plants, and for emergencies in countries with limited water infrastructure. It doesn't just carry water, it creates its own massive portable supply. In firefighting, time is territory, and this invention saves time by the bucketful, or rather, by tens of thousands of gallons per minute. However, the real revolution in transportation is not just about overcoming disaster with increasingly ingenious tools. That is reactive. What is completely changing the game is the ability to be proactive, to design trucks and logistics that are so adaptable and efficient that many of these disasters are prevented before they occur, and that every trip is as productive as humanly and digitally possible. The next frontier isn't in the mud or on the broken road, but in the very nature of the truck itself. Are you ready to leave the world of emergencies behind and enter the future of logistics, where trucks change shape like transformers, steering wheels move by apparent telekinesis, and cranes are operated with glasses that display a video game? Get ready, because this is where science fiction becomes the sales invoice. Until now, we have seen technology that responds, that reacts to mud, breakdowns, fire. These are glorious inventions, but at heart, they are defensive solutions. However, the next and most profound revolution in heavy transport is not reactive. It is proactive, transformative, and radically efficient. It's about redesigning the vehicle itself and its function so that inefficiency, waste, and risk disappear before they even materialize. We are entering the era of liquid logistics, where a truck or trailer is no longer a single-purpose tool, but a mutant platform capable of changing its form and function according to the needs of the moment. This is not optimization, it is real-time reinvention. Imagine a fleet where no trip is empty, where the driver has perfect visibility for every millimeter task, and where operating heavy machinery is as safe and precise as playing a video game. It sounds like the distant future, but the truth is that these trucks are already on the road, and they are rewriting the rules of profitability and safety. Buckle up, because we're going to explore the cutting edge of engineering, where adaptability is the most valuable superpower. The chameleon trailer, from transporting cars to carrying containers in minutes. The pain is easy to identify and brutal in its magnitude. In the new vehicle transport industry, there is a figure that burns in the gut of every logistics manager. 42% of car transporter return trips are made empty. Think about that. Nearly 1 in every 2 trips, a tractor with an expensive car carrier trailer returns to its base without generating a single penny of revenue. It only consumes fuel, wears out tires, pays salaries, and emits CO2. It is a financial and environmental black hole the size of a continent. For decades, it was accepted as an unavoidable cost of doing business. Until a Canadian company, Convertible Concepts Corporation, decided that the word unavoidable did not exist in its dictionary. Its invention is a question made steel. What if the trailer could stop being a car carrier on the return trip? The answer is the convertible trailer, a masterpiece of hydraulic engineering and lateral thinking. Externally, in its standard configuration, it is a multi-level car transporter like any other. But when it unloads its last vehicle and is ready for the return trip, the magic begins. The driver activates the system from a control panel. In a synchronized and measured manner, the folding platforms that held the cars begin to retract and fold hydraulically. In a matter of minutes, not hours, minutes, what was once a complex structure with rails and ramps is transformed into a long, flat, completely clean platform. It's like watching a transformer in fast motion. Suddenly, you have a flatbed trailer ready to load anything: industrial machinery, construction materials, pallets, or even 40-foot shipping containers, thanks to the structure's integrated standard twist-lock anchor points. The economic impact is as clear as the sound of a cash register. It turns empty miles into profits. That return trip that used to be a pure loss is now a paid cargo trip. A single asset, the trailer, serves multiple markets: new cars in one direction and general cargo or containers in the other. Asset efficiency skyrockets. The carbon footprint per ton transported plummets. This invention is not just a savings, it is a generator of new lines of business. A single trailer can serve 2 different customers in a single cycle, maximizing its usefulness 24 hours a day. It attacks the very core of logistical waste and turns it into opportunity. It is every operator's dream come true: absolute flexibility. The traveling steering wheel. Switch sides in 30 seconds for perfect visibility. Now let's change scale, but not philosophy. Think of a service vehicle, a municipal truck sweeping streets, a unimog in a vineyard performing precision tasks, a machine pruning trees along a highway. The challenge here is not volume, but precision and safety. The driver needs optimal visibility and control of the work equipment: a sweeper, a pruning arm, a sprayer, which is usually on the side of the vehicle. Traditionally, this meant specialized vehicles with central cabs or swivel seats, or worse, the driver contorting himself dangerously to see out the wrong window. The solution used to be expensive, complex, and rigid. Mercedes-Benz, with its legendary Unimog, the ultimate multifunctional platform, applied a dose of pragmatic genius. It developed the Variopilot system, and its proposal is so simple that it hurts not to have thought of it before. What if the steering wheel, instrument panel, and pedals could slide from one side of the cab to the other? We're not talking about a tilt adjustment. We're talking about the entire driving assembly physically moving from the left side of the cab to the right, or vice versa. The process is a marvel of simple engineering. The driver releases a latch and gently slides the entire steering column, instrument panel, and pedal assembly along a rail. In less than 30 seconds, the entire control system has switched sides. There is no need to reconnect complex cables. It is a mechanical hydraulic electronic plug-and-play system. The benefit is monumental: total safety and precision. Need to operate a hydraulic mower on the right side of the truck, near a hedge or ditch? Move the steering wheel to the right side and you have a panoramic direct view with total control at your fingertips. Then you need to drive on a normal road. In half a minute, everything returns to the standard driving position. This system speaks directly to a niche: municipalities, precision agriculture, public services, construction, where visibility is synonymous with safety and quality of work. It eliminates critical blind spots during the operation of specialized equipment. It reduces operator fatigue, who no longer has to crane their neck for hours on end. It ensures that regardless of the task, the driver always has the best possible view of the work area. In a world where a mistake of just a few centimeters can mean damaging public infrastructure or injuring a pedestrian, Variopilot is not a curiosity. It is an active safety system that redefines the ergonomics of heavy work. The virtual reality crane operates with surgical precision from the cab. Finally, let's take adaptability and precision to the absolute extreme. The world of forestry and construction cranes is a ballet of colossal forces, where the operator, cloistered in a cab on the truck or on the crane itself, must manipulate loads of several tons with millimeter precision, often guided by signals from a ground operator and struggling with immense blind spots. It is high-risk work, where a misperception can cause catastrophic accidents. Productivity is also limited by the need to move the load with extreme caution. Pioneering company HAB looked at this problem and didn't see a crane. It saw a human-machine interface problem. Its solution, the high vision system, is so futuristic that it seems like magic, but it is based on technology that is already in many homes: virtual and augmented reality. The system replaces the traditional windows and mirrors in the crane cab with something much more powerful. Here's how the quantum leap works. The operator puts on a high-definition virtual reality headset. In that instant, their visual world changes completely. Through multiple ultra-high-definition cameras and sensors strategically placed on the crane arm and truck, they see a first-person, 360-degree view of the entire work environment. It's not just a video, it's an augmented reality experience. The system superimposes critical data onto the real-time image of the log being handled. position guidelines, turning angles, load weight, distance to obstacles, truck stability limits. It's as if the operator has a video game with informational hacks that tell them exactly how to move every inch of the load. The implications are enormous. Safety, zero blind spots. The operator sees everything from the tip of the hook to the truck's wheels without moving. It completely eliminates the risk of accidents due to poor visibility. Accuracy and productivity. You can handle the load with surgical precision, placing logs or beams in the exact spot on the first try. This translates into faster movements, shorter loading cycles, and ultimately more tons moved per day. But the future is even more radical. HAB is already planning the next step. If the operator can see and control everything from a helmet in the cab, they will soon be able to do so from a helmet in an office miles away. Remote truck driving and remote crane operation are the inevitable horizon. This not only saves lives by removing people from the danger zone, but also democratizes access to specialized operators who could control machines on different continents from a control center. We are talking about the dematerialization of occupational risk in its purest form. These are not trade show prototypes or design concepts. They are real tools with serial numbers, invoices, and satisfied customers who are now seeing a tangible return on investment. The convertible trailer is filling empty trips. The Unimog with Variopilot is trimming hedges with absolute safety, and high-vision cranes are moving timber in Nordic forests with record efficiency. The heavy transport revolution is no longer a promise. It is an operational reality in thousands of companies that refuse to accept the way it has always been done. Autonomy and robotics. You've seen trucks conquer mud, rescue themselves, and mutate their shape. But there is a revolution operating on a quieter, more cerebral level. It's not about physically transforming the machine, but about freeing the driver's mind, adding digital eyes and reflexes that anticipate error and optimize every movement to a level unattainable by a human. This is the frontier of assisted autonomy and integrated robotics, where the truck is not just a tool, but an intelligent co-worker. We are not talking about driverless trucks, that is a more distant goal, but about systems that act as infallible co-pilots, specialized in repetitive, dangerous, or boringly precise tasks. These inventions do not roar, they whisper, but their impact on productivity and safety is thunderous. The robotic farmer, the truck that sows and harvests without touching the steering wheel. Imagine a sugarcane field in Brazil, miles of identical furrows under a scorching sun. The task of the truck accompanying the harvester is simple in theory. Follow it at a constant distance and speed to receive the load. Simple but inhumanly monotonous and prone to fatigue-induced errors. Scania's solution to this problem was the Scania P284, unveiled at the Agro Trade Fair. This is not an autonomous truck in the sense of driving on public roads. It is a geo-referenced autonomous vehicle in a controlled environment. The system is elegant. The field is digitally mapped with high-precision GPS coordinates. The truck is assigned a predefined route. Once the mode is activated, the automatic guidance system takes control of steering, acceleration, and braking. The driver does not disappear. He becomes a supervisor. Their job is no longer the exhausting work of following a furrow for 10 hours, but rather monitoring the system, watching for unforeseen events, such as an animal crossing, and performing coupling and unloading maneuvers. The benefits are immediately quantifiable. A 10% reduction in crop losses because the optimal distance from the harvester is maintained at all times. Lower fuel consumption thanks to perfectly efficient acceleration and braking. And most valuable of all, it frees the operator's attention for higher value tasks, improving their well-being and reducing human error in the critical part of the process. It is automation not for futurism, but for pure ergonomics and greed for efficiency. The self-managed forklift, the trailer that loads and unloads its own equipment. One of the biggest headaches in last-mile logistics is dependence on infrastructure. Arriving at a drop-off point without a loading ramp or an available forklift means at best a delay and at worst the inability to complete the delivery. Polish company Wesor tackled this problem with impeccable logic. If the infrastructure isn't there, let the vehicle carry it with it. But instead of adding an external forklift that takes up space and is a dangerous counterweight, they integrated it into the trailer's design itself. Its system is a smart floor. The floor of the dry box trailer is modified with rails and a displacement mechanism. A compact, lightweight electric forklift travels on it. When the truck arrives at its destination, the driver activates the system from outside. The forklift, securely anchored during the journey, drives itself along the internal rails and exits the rear of the trailer, gently lowering itself to the ground via an integrated ramp. In minutes, you have operational loading equipment ready to move goods from inside the trailer to the platform or sidewalk. Once unloading is complete, the process is reversed. The forklift climbs back onto the trailer and locks into its travel position. The genius is twofold. First, it solves the absolute logistical problem. It ensures that you can always unload anywhere. Second, it improves the safety and dynamics of the vehicle. When traveling integrated and centered, the forklift does not act as a flying counterweight that destabilizes the trailer when cornering. In fact, when the trailer is empty, the weight of the forklift aids stability. It is a perfect symbiosis between the container and the tool, eliminating an entire link in the chain of external dependency. Dual control, 2 steering wheels to tame the narrow city. While full autonomy matures, there is a niche where human control is irreplaceable but physically limited: urban waste collection. On narrow streets in European or Australian cities, the driver of a garbage truck must perform a dance of precision, approaching the containers on the sidewalk, often with traffic passing inches away on the left side. Visibility on the passenger side is terrible. The traditional solution is cameras and sensors, but Italian company Iveco went a step further with a surprisingly straightforward option for the Australian market: the Iveco with dual control. It is not a sliding steering wheel system like the Variopilot. It is more radical: 2 complete, independent, functional driving stations within the same cab. It has 2 steering wheels, 2 sets of pedals, 2 instrument panels. The driver can switch seats in seconds. When approaching a narrow street or lining up to pick up containers on the right-hand side, they simply move to the passenger seat, which is now their command post. From there, they have a direct, unobstructed view of the sidewalk, the container, and the robotic collection arm. Our maneuver is performed with precision and safety that would be impossible from the left side. Then, for a stretch of normal driving on an avenue, he returns to his original seat. This invention is not meant to be elegant. It is meant to be brutally effective. It responds to a specific need in an industry: garbage collection, where gaining seconds and centimeters of precision at each stop translates into shorter routes, less stress for the driver, and less risk of damaging vehicles or public property. It is physical adaptability taken to its highest expression to solve a tactical urban problem. It proves that sometimes the smartest solution is not a complex algorithm, but giving the driver the right tool to see the world from the perfect angle. These 3 inventions, the autonomous field follower, the trailer with integrated forklift, and the 2 steering wheel truck, share a common philosophy: smart specialization. They are not mass-market products. They are surgical solutions to very specific problems that generate enormous inefficiencies. They show that the transportation revolution is not a monolith, but a mosaic of innovations that, together, are redefining what it means to move the world. One optimizes the field, another ensures delivery in the city, and another transforms the most repetitive work. Together, they paint a future where human effort is concentrated where it has the most value: in supervision, management, and complex decision-making, while machines take care of perfect and predictable execution. Tell us in the comments which invention you saw blew your mind and why. Was it the physical transformation, the solution to an ancestral fear, or the vision of a distant future? And the million-dollar question: if you had to invest in just one of these systems for your fleet or business tomorrow, which one would it be and why? Conversation is what drives the industry. Share your perspective, because these comments may contain the next big idea or confirmation that you are on the right track. Disruption is here. Jumping on board or standing on the sidelines is now more than ever a choice.